Visual art styles in games. Visual art styles are what allow media to have an iconic look that only they possess. It is also used to help support the mood and genre of the media. The help of modern technology now allows more expression and personality in the art styles of media, creating a more personal experience for the specific media. Photorealism. Photorealism as a style relies on lighting and physics to present the mood and story of the game. Even though the types of games that use this art style mostly rely on more high quality and high technology, it has recently become more accessible due to GPUs having more affordable options. Some examples of this in games are Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red, focusing on more realistic lighting, broad environments, and characters. Tomb Raider from Crystal Dynamics, focusing on character, environment-based physics, and more realistic lighting. And finally, Resident Evil Village from Capcom, focusing on realistic lighting, once again, broad environments, and realistic physics. Isometric. Isometric as a style relies on focusing on the environment. Even though these types of games that use this art style mostly consist of fighting games, technology has allowed more variety by allowing more movement for gameplay, allowing creators not to have to rely on only being allowed to go in one direction. Examples of this in games are Wakfu from Ankama, focusing on character story and broad environments. Unpacking from Witchbeam, focusing on mood, story, and broad environments once again. And finally, Hades from Supergiant Games, yet again focusing on characters, story, and broad environments. Abstract. Abstract as a style relies on no theme, even though the types of games that use this art style mostly consist of replay and high score value. Technology has allowed competitive gameplay and stories along with the gameplay, allowing creators not having to rely on amazing gameplay, making it easier to put more focus on the story. Examples of this in games are Puyo Puyo Tetris from Compile, focusing on characters, story, and gameplay. Then The Path from Tale of Tale, focusing on mood, story, and characters. And finally, Enna Dream Barbecue from Joel G, focusing on characters, mood, and broad environments. Stylized. Stylized as a style relies on iconic visuals and exaggerated physics to present the mood and story of the game. Even though the types of games that use this art style mostly consist of light-hearted stories, technology has allowed horror and darker stories to truly shine with this media, allowing creators not to having to rely on high graphics, making it easily available for indie companies and developers. Examples in games such as Cuphead from Studio MDHR, focusing on physics, story, and characters. Then, Little Nightmares from Bandai Namco, focusing on characters, broad settings, and mood. And finally, Splatoon from Nintendo, focusing on characters, character interaction, and broad fantastical environments. Monochromatic. The monochromatic style relies on little to no colour, even though the types of games that use this art style mostly consist of pixel games. Technology has allowed more variety with 2D side-scrollers, allowing creators not to have to rely on the dialogue to set the mood of the story. Examples of this in games such as World of Horror from Pan-STAS, focusing on story, character, interaction, and environments. Then, Happy Game from Amanita Design, focusing on story, environments, and gameplay. And finally, Limbo from Playdead, which focuses on story, environments, and gameplay once again. Stylized photorealism. Stylized photorealism as a style relies on semi-realistic colours and characters, even though these types of games that use this art style mostly consist of old fighting games. Technology has allowed more variety, which allowing more detail and horror gameplay, allowing creators not having to rely on unique gameplay. Examples of this in games are We Are Happy Few from Compulsion Games, focusing on gameplay, characters, and story. Then Bioshock from 2K Games, focusing on story, characters, and environments. And finally, Alice Madness Returns from American McGee, focusing on broad environments, story, and characters. Game designers. Shigeru Miyamoto. Shigeru Miyamoto graduated from Kanazawa Municipal College of Industrial Arts. He was initially trying to become a manga artist before entering the games industry. He created The Legend of Zelda, an action-adventure game, in 1986, becoming another iconic IP under the Nintendo company. His game style mostly focuses on gameplay. This has inspired games to be more thoughtful about the gameplay and how much that can add to the experience. This is present in games such as Okami. Yuji Sori. Yuji Sori graduated from Waseda University's Department of Literature. He also worked as a freelancer for comics, newspapers, and magazines. In 1978, Sori created Dragon Warrior, a role-playing game on the Nintendo Entertainment System, becoming the Dragon Quest series, setting the standard for role-play games. His game style mostly focuses on story and immersiveness in the environments. This inspired games to be more thoughtful about the stories told through the game. This is most present in games such as Ni no Kuni. Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima initially wanted to be a film producer, however decided to go into game development. He later joined the MXS, however it was too restrictive. In 2012, Kojima developed Silent Hills, a horror game series which got cancelled in 2015. Even though Silent Hills was cancelled, it became the inspiration to horror games everywhere, such as Mortuary Assistant. His game style focuses on atmosphere, trying to evoke feelings within the audience. Satoshi Nogami. Satoshi Nogami graduated in design in the Osaka University of Arts. Within the same year, he joined the Nintendo company, becoming an artist for Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. In 2015, Nogami produced Splatoon, a third-person shooter game on the Wii U, becoming the most iconic first-person shooter and Nintendo IP. His game style mostly focuses on color and setting up a unique world. This inspired games to be more colorful and more unique in appearance. This is most present in games such as Ninjala. Concept artists. A concept artist produces ideas for the visuals of the animation. They draw the very first sketches of things like character designs or environments. Their artwork is then used as a reference point for animators and background and character designers further down the line. Concept artists will often work with the director, producer, and character designers to help narrow down what the product should be. Concept artists is practically important in the gaming industry because it helps bring out the true potential of the gameplay, world, and characters, bringing them to a new level. Ryu Komazaki. Ryu Komazaki was a sculpture graduate before becoming involved with Spike. He is the concept artist behind Danganronpa, a psychopop game. This was his first experience as a character designer. He even created the word Danganronpa, which became the title of the franchise. Seta Inoue. Seta Inoue is the concept artist behind Splatoon, a first-person shooter game. He also serves as a director for the game. Jonas Steinig Berlin. Jonas Steinig Berlin is the concept artist behind Little Nightmares 2, a puzzle horror game. He also worked on Amnesia: The Dark Descendant.